Hi everybody, now this is the rear hatch mod. This is part 2. It's finished anyway. Now as you can see, what I've done is I've etched these pieces with the burnishing fluid, because the night shift man says you should etch the parts to get the paint to take. Now I didn't etch the wheels. I primed them, but they do rub together a bit, and because I primed them and then I painted them, the paint does chip off. But I'm not too worried about them because I want them to be like that. Now the hinges on the rear hatch, let me spin it around a bit. Now they come with 2 little pins that go down. So I had to drill 2 holes for those on each hinge, but it seemed to be sticking a little bit, and I think what it is, let me just take these off. These bits here you stick on after painting so you can get underneath them. Oh bollocks. Although they are proper hinges, they're so slack that when you lift it, they pinch. You've got to sort of, if you can see at the back there, you've got to lift them. There's play in the hinge. You've got to lift them slightly to get them to open up. So they might need a little packer putting underneath. I didn't want to pack it and then when it sits shuts okay, but you can see how the hinge is just slightly dropped. So it's just not a case, as you can see, as you lift it, you've got to just take that slack up to lift it up. But apart from that, so I printed out a lip to go around the edge for it to drop onto. Now that is the turret motor, turning motor. So, and luckily that stands on 3 pins, which one of them is just here. It upstands 3 mil off of the top hull, so there was enough room to put this underneath, stick this on, and then put that on. It still lines up with the gears for the turret. So we just got to get that painted up so that fits nicely. When I find my Dremel tool, I'm just going to etch, just clean that out slightly there, because it is a real job sticking those hinges on. I did stick them from the reverse side with hot melt, but it wasn't man enough, so I had to super glue them on and then leave it in the open position with it supported, so the super glue didn't get onto the back of these hinges. But that nice bit of detail on that. I just dropped that one. Dropped everything on the bloody floor out. Now I've got it all together. I sort of wish I'd made these a little bit thinner. I could have knocked 1.5 mil off of the size of that. But they're okay. Now you can see there where the guy goes on about, let me point to it, that etch fluid, it won't touch anywhere that's been super glued. Now they must super glue these on, and you can see how the fluid didn't touch that there at all. Same on the other one. You can see there's rings around there, and the super glue must have run down the top of the hatch. That fits really well, that one. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to print up a platform that's going to run right across there underneath. And I'm not putting any switches in here, I've decided now. I'm going to, I've seen a video on a Tamiya King Tiger, and the guy on the back here is the jack block. Let me try and get the light on it. Now he hinges that jack block and he puts the on-off switch under that. So I'm going to try and do that for the on-off switch, and then I've just got to try and find a location for the USB charger. And see, this is the socket. It's only tiny, so it might be going underneath one of these. And I looked on is it Oddball, the guy from East Coast Armories. Now he says that the proper place for the aerial is over on the back of the hull over here, same as on the Tiger 1. But if you look on the archive footage, the aerial is mounted in between these two and on there, and on the command vehicle, which has got more signalling equipment, there's another aerial mounted up on the turret here. There is another aerial back here, but because the turret is bigger on this, see, when the Tiger 1 traverses, it hits the aerial with the barrel, but this will hit the aerial with the back of the turret as well. So I'm thinking I might take that out of there and put the main aerial on here, and put another aerial up on the back of the turret up here. That Forged Bear Tanks, they do an aerial, they're out of stock at the moment, but I think that'll be a nice mod to put that on there. I've got to just find somewhere for the charging port. I'm not finished painting this guy up yet. He's got the winter coat on already, so the idea of putting a platform along underneath these two, so I can decide whether I'm going to have the driver with his head sticking out or the signaller with his head sticking out. Now see, when you look at the videos on the Tiger 1, quite often you see the driver with his head sticking out, but the research that I've done, the driver cannot drive the tank with his head sticking out. The seat is too low. It was never made to be driven with the head sticking out. But I've seen videos of the King Tiger. There's actual footage in Germany of the tank they've got at the museum with a guy driving it with his head sticking out. So you obviously can on the King Tiger. So that's another modification. And I have got a man coming to go out of here, who he is the gunner, but he's not an actual, like this guy is an actual commander. The guy I've got come over here is a German 1/6 scale infantry man he's got his snow stuff on for skiing, and I'm going to modify him to fit in here because I can't find a commander to go in here, not a commander or gunner to go in here at all. But so that's the rear hatch done. So it's just a matter of getting those painted up and doing some detailing before I go head on into doing the snow camouflage. I'll just show you that on the turret misses that. I'll just see, the only thing about having a man with his head sticking out of here, they do sit quite low, but you have to watch. If you've got the barrel on its low elevation, you'll whack him in the head. Right, I managed to get that light fitted on properly. This is the new light that turned up for Forged Bear Tanks. He sent me a new one. So I've just got to fill the areas around it from the old light. So it's all going great guns with the tank. You can't see it in this light, the weathering of the tracks, but they look the business. Anyway, that's just the rear modification done. Any questions, ping me a message. Okay, bye.